Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio, brought to you by championnews.net. We are your choice for the conservative voice. This is our Sunday after the election show, and, well, you know what? We did win a seat, kind of, with Dave McSweeney.
It's worth examining what went on with Dave McSweeney. Who is he? He's a guy that has not previously been elected to anything, but he ran in the 52nd House District here in Illinois. And now that's a good thing, but it isn't senator, and it isn't congressman, and it isn't governor. He's on the biggest part of that gets elected down in Springfield is representatives. So what happened in this thing? It happens that he has a fair amount of money, and he's a very determined guy. Got a lovely wife that's a credit to him. And but what happened is Madigan decided to pick on him because there was an independent person that was running against him because he beat the other guy in the primary, but the Democrat. But so there was an independent in it that Madigan decided to support. What was her name?
Dee Beaubien.
Yes, Dee Beaubien. And what happened was that in this election, she broke through the limit. See, Madigan has set out limits so you can't really put much money in. Madigan can, but the rest of us out here are peons in the size of the contributions that you can actually make to it. Mostly we're limited to $2,500. Madigan can go $50,000 or more through all his multiple different things. So what happened? He put the B on D to go and spend $100,000 on her own thing against McSweeney. So the law is that if you go over $100,000, the limits are off for everybody in that particular district. So why did she do that? Well, that was so that Madigan could really pour the money in. So right away in comes $100,000 from Madigan comes in against McSweeney. And then it kept on another 100, a couple of $100,000. Altogether, Madigan shoved almost $1 million into one House race.
Madigan personally, where did he get that money from?
Well, that's another long story, but Madigan gets all of that, not all. He gets a lot of money out of all things, the teachers in Illinois pay dues of about $1,000 each. There's $132 million in the last year. We have the figures. $132 million of the dues of the teachers that go into the union that spends them. 80% of it, according to U.S. Supreme Court ruling, 80% of that is only for political stuff. That's roughly $100 million that gets spent various ways, and a lot of it winds up in the pockets of Madigan and his daughter, who watches his back as I don't know exactly what that means, but the two Madigans get a lot of that money from, of all things, it's channeled out of the pockets of the teachers, and we're not
and that's
picking
just
on
Illinois.
Them. It's not violent, and part of what we're doing in the future is we're standing up for the teachers, so they shouldn't have to give that kind of money to corrupt politics in Illinois. At any rate, he put about $1 million in there. I turned around and to make an issue of it early on, I put $100,000 of my own because the limit was removed. I'd given maybe $5,000 before. I gave $100,000 to McSweeney. Later on, when Madigan was piling it through, I put another 40 in. So I put about $145,000 in and made a big fuss about Madigan and what he was doing to corrupt politics with the money that he's taking from the teachers and the trial attorneys. Another big source for Madigan. So he's got the money. You think Republicans are rich? No, they're pikers. It's Madigan that's a rich guy.
That's right. We didn't compare, couldn't possibly compare with the money that was spent on all the Democrats statewide. Yeah. They bought their races through the unions, through the trial lawyers. They got tons
They poured
of money.
the money in here. We thought that we had a fair chance to beat those guys, but there were no coattails from the top end with Rutherford and the bland attitude of poor Mr. Romney. He was just too bland for the tragedy of what was facing us all with this socialist drive that's been put on and prettied up for all of the people that are glad to get food stamps and other things. They gave up their rights as Americans, and they voted for this stinking bunch of Democrats that are socialists.
Incidentally, that was Bobian was an independent, by the way, not even a Democrat. He pumped the money into.
Oh, and
he feels David McSweeney is a threat, and he is.
Well, this is one of the interesting things. If you take a look at that Bobian race and the McSweeney race, and we were talking about James Carville, how voters are clueless. I don't know if you saw any of Bobian signs, but it said, "Tired of partisan gridlock." Well, first off, what gridlock? The Democrats have been running the roost for how long? So her first introduction to the voters is with a lie and coming across like she's an independent when you know she's in Madigan's pocket.
But it's a year of the woman.
Well, it is the year of the
woman.
Hold on a minute, because the right's going to take women's rights away. I heard Illinois is going to be changing its name to Madagascar soon. We're going to be talking more about political things when we come back after the break.